Hey, this is Darkwing Dave, back on the Dark Moon Kingdom realm for another episode of our World Tour series. In this episode, we're going to take another look at the castle from the outside. In the last episode of the World Tour series, we looked at the inside of the castle and a little bit of the outside, but I realized that there's a few things that I missed. It won't take very long, just a few minutes, to continue the castle tour right before we get on into the underground base and the farms. So stick with me if you want to see what's underground, and I'm going to take you on that tour right now. So let's check out this castle right here. If you take a look at it, and you can kind of see through the trees here. So this is the front. It used to be just a big dirt hill, and I fortified it. If you haven't seen the previous tour episode, I encourage you to go check that out. The playlist is on my YouTube channel, and it's called World Tour Series. So that would have been episode 4, and this is episode 5. So if we come up the stairs, you can see that I've just made a nice staircase that kind of turns and just kind of goes right up the top. We've got some banners with some mushroom lights behind them to kind of light them up at night. And I went ahead and continued the same wood fence style that we have with lanterns as I did with the castle keep. We head on up here. And around the corner, we got this little empty courtyard right here that I got to do something with. So this was the castle that we took a tour of in the last episode. And I just want to kind of walk around, show you a few things. Really, the front of it, the staircase, that was the big thing. But I'll just take a little tour around the back here. There's not much to see. It's pretty basic. It looks like I did leave a little opening right here so I could run over here and jump out and fly down if I want to the village. This side, there's not really room to walk around. We'll go back this way. And we'll just cut right through the castle here. So if I turn, go through this way, go through the wall, right out the front door. So, like I was saying earlier, we've got this little courtyard area I need to decorate with something. I'm not sure, maybe some park benches. Go down the stairs here. We got another hill on this side, which I could probably put something on top. Thinking maybe some kind of tower, lookout tower. But we've also got this little blank spot here that I'm going to have to figure out what to do with. Right now, it's just a little work area for the Darkwing Village materials, but I'm thinking, I used to have a tree here, but I wasn't really happy with the shape of it, so I tore it down. But as you can see, like over here, we've got this nice little decorative flowering climbing bush thing on the side, and I think I might do a bigger one there. It could be a fun little project, just a side thing. But if we go up the stairs, and instead of going up to the top of the hill, we could also go through this tunnel that takes us to the back. So it's an easy way to get through the hill back here to this part where I'll be expanding the village itself. As you can see, you can't just come around. If I ever move that wall further out, we'd be able to walk around. But for now, the only way back here is to fly over, climb over, or go through the little, what do you want to call it, the tunnel? So we've got this tunnel here. And right here, there we have a door. So this is another entrance into the castle that I didn't show before, I don't believe. So we have a guard room and dungeon access here. So continue on inside. We've got the guard room for Redwood Castle. And eventually, I don't know. I may have another room on the other side, but just a little bit of brainstorming there. Initially, I made this room just so I'd have somewhere to run inside. When I was building outside in the front yard, we didn't have that many lights. I had some torches out there and I was working on the yard, and when it got dark, I'd run inside, use the bed to sleep, or I'd come in here to access the ender chest. I've also got some extra arrows, and you know what, I'll go ahead and swap some out right now. Yeah, so it's just a little guard room, mostly for looks, but it has some function. If we continue this way, we can go to the dungeon and enter into the castle itself. If we go this direction, this is the original entrance to the hill that I've already walled up because we did fortify the wall outside. The original bed I had in here that would run in here to sleep is still here. In here is a chicken cooker. You can see that it just fired. Every time an egg fires, it fires out a little bit of lava for a moment. And if any of these chickens are adult chickens, their heads will be up there in that space. The lava will catch them on fire. They burn. and then they become cooked chicken and feathers that drop down and go down into my storage system in the base. So now, with that said, we'll continue on from this entrance we came in. We'll go to the right. We are at the southeast tower. So if you're looking at the front of the castle, this would be the front right tower. And this tower, I believe we did go through the dungeon last time in the last tour. I've since put a sign up, and I've included all the doors. Now we have a door here as well. And this just tells me this is the northeast tower where the staircase is. Let me try to get through that door again. And that's about all I needed to show to finish up the castle tour. Again, you know, this goes down to the storeroom and the gallery. We've been down there in the last episode. And I'll just head back outside so we can get to it. All right, so what we'll do is we will... Oh, it's dark. We'll walk through this village. This is the Darkwing Village. It was in episode 1 of the World Tour series. And I do hope that you were able to check that out. And that you've followed along through all my tour episodes until we got to this one. So this is kind of an interesting little stopping point here. In that first episode of the Darkwing Village, I did have a comment on the video, and I appreciate all comments and feedback, and they suggested that we should have some flowers in front of the greenhouse. So I've added some flowers and some bushes, some hedging. I still need to finish this. I ran out of the flowering azalea leaves, so I need to get some more of those to finish the hedge off to make it kind of squared like that. And then you just kind of continue up this way, and you can go into the greenhouse, or you can go this way, and so on and so forth. So we're going to head around the corner here, and we're going to head back to the tree house. Ever since the last update, I've been having to eat a lot. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that, but it's definitely a thing. So the guest house is in the top of the tree house, and I did show that in the first tour episode. And then now we're going to go down to the tree farm. So a little bit of backstory on the tree farm. Well, hello, Salem. A little bit of backstory on the tree farm. Well, underneath the greenhouse, initially when there was nothing here except this building, this office, I was able to, with help of my friends on this realm, we were able to dig out a really big hole underneath this thing before we actually, built it. Uh-oh, sky rats. Sky rats are mad. All right, so we're going to head inside. But anyway, we dug a big hole in the ground, and that's where we're going to start. So we're going to go all the way down to the bottom of this base. And down here, when you exit the water elevator, we have a sign that says the tree farm is that direction. And that would be underneath the greenhouse, directly down. And we also have a silo room, which I have storage in. We'll get to that in another tour. I'll do one on automation and storage and sorting and all that. This is the tree farm. Now, it's kind of hard to tell how big this room is because of the trees. There's a lot of trees here. And there's about, let's see, there's 4 that way, 4 that way. So there's 16 spruce trees. And these are the large 2x2 trees, if you can't tell. If you've never seen one of these large trees, they're pretty cool. They grow decently quick, and you can get a lot of wood from them. You just have to figure out how to cut them down. In early game, you have to use, you got to block up to the top, or maybe you've got some scaffolding, you've got some... I'm being distracted by the water underneath the floor here. I've got a compost room downstairs, and I've got farms that are running. Obviously, they're sending items to the compost room and to other places. There's a lot of automation underneath there. But anyway, in the early games, you'll have to find a way to climb to the top of these trees. A lot of people, what they do is they'll just start at the bottom, and they'll start, chopping into the tree, and they'll just stair step up. They'll make a chop too much of that. But yeah, they'll just climb in here, and they'll find a way to climb around and stair step up the tree, right? I'm sure everybody's seen that method where you climb the tree, chopping it down, and then you come back down the other direction, and you can chop the whole tree down. That takes a little while. And I think the best method is to go to the top of the tree and then just chop the whole thing straight down. And in combination with chopping this tree straight down through the middle, you also want to have a good axe, sorry. This one has efficiency 5, as you can see right there on Dragon's Edge. If you missed that, we'll go in here and take a look. So we have efficiency 5, we've got unbreaking 3, we've got sharpness 5 in case I need to chop up any mobs, and of course mending. And we have also, if you look at the top right corner of the screen, you see that golden pickaxe. That is the beacon that's on right over here. I initially put it right here. It was kind of in the middle, and I just haven't moved it, so it's still right here in the middle of the farm. I use this wool block occasionally. If I need to turn that off for some reason, I just chuck that in the ground, and then it turns off. So if you block the sky access for a beacon, it turns off. Right? Got some glass in there in case I drop in. Put that back over there for a moment. It's a very temporary way to operate the thing, but it is what it is. So instead of having scaffolding or wings or ladders or blocking up and having all these trees above ground, a long time ago, I would say about 10 years ago, if I had to guess, I designed this farm. I decided I was going to dig a big hole in the ground, put these trees in here, put a roof on it, light it up, so that way I could farm these trees day and night without worry of any mobs. So, in every side of this farm, now this hallway goes all the way around this tree farm. It's like a big loop, big circle. And on every side, every wall, there is a vine shaft, I call it. Then you can go in here and you climb the vines, because early game you dig the big hole and then you need some way to get up and down. Well, I just put some vines in there and let them grow. But from down there, if you look down that way, if I was down there, I could look up and say, well, I think these trees are like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 floors, 6 floors high. Most of them grow all the way to the top. So if we climb to the top, I have a catwalk. We can go out on the catwalk, and you can see a lot of these trees just grow right up here to the top. Just like that. What you do is you walk out, you jump on top of the tree, you break out the leaves, you get out your your efficiency 5 axe, you got your haste 2 beacon going, so now you can cut this thing down the fastest way possible. And the best way I found to do it is one of 2 ways. When I'm playing on console, that's how I do that. I stay on one block, I kind of crouch so I don't fall off. I mine straight down, and I mine straight down, mine straight down. That one goes down. You see how we do this. The other way, when I'm on a computer, I can just mine it with a mouse. I can twirl around and around and around, and then I fall sometimes. That's how you cut it down. It's really fast. It's really efficient. And one of the things I'm looking at here is to make sure that I didn't break any of these. Because sometimes you come down through here and you hit your axe on the edge of that and it just breaks off. Then you gotta put it back. But I'm usually pretty careful, so. Now the last but not least, you wait for the trees or the leaves to despawn and everything will fall down here. Usually I can go cut down another tree or two and then I'll be, wandering around down here picking up all the drops. So I got some drops already. Got some more saplings, we got sticks. Sometimes you accidentally hit a leaf or two and you get some leaf blocks. Let's see what we got. Looks like a little over a stack and a half. Got a couple of sticks so far, a few saplings, got a leaf block. That's just one tree, There's some sticks. So I end up getting a lot of sticks and saplings. Sometimes, because of the way I built this, because of the wood structure that I did in here, or the framing, sometimes the trees, the leaves, they touch the frame right up there. You see that? That one's not touching. That one is touching. So this one is 1, 2, 3 floors up. So I'll just run up there. You climb up this vine shaft. Well, that was 1. That's 2, 3. Is it 3 floors? I think it's this other one over here. Let me go over here. Sorry, I'm moving around so fast. There you go. So I just break the leaves off. And that way, now these can despawn. Because if the leaves are touching wood, even though I cut down the tree, like these leaves over here won't despawn. They'll just be hanging here later. But a lot of times I'll just go ahead when I'm cutting down trees, I'll go ahead and run around at this level if there seem to be a lot of trees at this level. And let me just take a peek out here. Okay, there's no more on this side, so then I just run around to the other side, do some sprint jumping here to get around quicker. But we can look down this side too. There's some over there. Go all the way down to the end. So you get the idea. Now you could avoid that if you built this place. That one's not really touching. You could avoid this by maybe doing wood back here and then doing stone out front. You know, just kind of invert the design, which I might do the next time I ever build one of these. I didn't think much about it when I built it. Look, I still got some jungle leaves up there underneath that beam. It's not a big deal. It really isn't. So a lot of times I'll just run through this farm and I will cut everything down while watching TV on the other monitor. I mean, you can also just be like talking to friends. You can listen to some music. It's actually quite nice to just cut all the trees down, collect all the stuff, pick everything up. You can see all the drops down there. And once everything's cut down, I've got a barrel over in the corner of the room down here somewhere. Let me hop down this way. Here's the barrel right here. So it says saplings, and I'll just chuck those in there like that. So it takes 1 stack of saplings to replant this room. So whenever time I cut down trees, especially in the beginning, I made sure that I ran around and picked up all of my saplings. Nowadays, it's not so much of a problem because I do have a lot. I've made sure to collect. So as you can see right here. And I think at some point down the road, I will be either streaming or I will be doing a Let's Play episode. And if you're still watching and you're hanging out with me, I really appreciate it. And you'll be able to see me cutting these down. And then you'll see what this room looks like while it's empty. So that's something to look forward to. If you're looking, if you're curious to see what that looks like. Back at this corner, we have a slime farm that I haven't finished. But my intention today was to just kind of go through some of the farms that are around this tree farm and to show off the tree farm itself. So we're going to go back around to the entrance here. So where we just came in and it says, okay, tree farm is this way. So we can go this way, we can go this way, but let's start and go around the farm this direction. So first we have a vine shaft, 1 on every wall. Second, we have Cactus and Cane. So in the Cactus and Cane, this is the cactus and sugarcane farm. So first we're going to display the sugarcane farm. The cactus farm, I'm sorry. So we got the cactus farm right here. And this cactus farm was designed by Avomance. So you might want to check out their channel if you want to learn how to build this type of farm yourself. I think they may have only done 3 levels in the tutorial, but I added a 4th up top, or I could be wrong. But it seems like there was only 3 on it, but you can just stack this thing up however big you want. You can tile it this direction however far you want. And if you've never seen a cactus farm like this before, basically you have these I can't think today. Words. Where are my words? So these are glass panes inside there. These little sticks of blue glass in there. So you can use iron bars, you could use fencing, but in their tutorial they show you exactly how to build this thing. But the basic mechanic behind any cactus farm is you've got this item right there. When the cactus tries to grow, it cannot grow next to an item. So the game makes the cactus grow, then the game realizes there's an item next to it, and so the cactus immediately pops off and turns into a little drop like the one that just fell down right there, and it's going down the water stream. So that's what happens. They drop, they fall, they hit the water, they fall down and goes this way, and then they go down that direction. Where do they go? They go down to the compost room at the present moment. I can actually redirect the water streams if I want to and have them go to storage, but I've got plenty in storage. So they go to compost and become bone meal. And some of these get stuck. I do need to modify this entire water stream right here to prevent that from happening. But I have these hoppers in place to catch the cactus that are flowing down that section. I usually come in here and clean these out. But geez, look at all this cactus. I'm here right now, so let's clean them out so you can kind of see what's going on here. I'm just going to go ahead and chuck these into the water stream. That way they will all go off to compost. Let's see, there's another hopper right down here. And this was kind of a band-aid. I really intended to get to this and fix it at some point. So we will probably do that in an upcoming Let's Play episode. So those are heading down that direction. I'm just going to hurry up and get back out of here before I end up with any more cactus in my pocket. All right. So next on the stop, we have the sugarcane farm on the other side of the room. Now this farm is turned off at the moment. That's why you see the slime blocks on the right. They're extended because I have it powered off. But what will happen is the machine would normally, those slime blocks would be in the back like these on this side. And then when the timer goes off, the slime block row moves forward and pushes, harvests all the top row of the sugarcane off the plants. And they come forward and they fall down the hole, which is kind of right there in front. Can't really see it. If I grab some scaffolding and just stack that up for a moment, we can climb up here and look maybe. You can kind of see the water flowing right there. So behind this really clear glass, because of my texture pack that I have on here, the sugarcane flies over, hits the glass, falls down into the water stream, and goes that direction, just like the cactus does, and it heads down underground and goes into the compost room under the tree farm. So, and again, that could also go to storage, but it was going to compost because I have plenty in storage. But then I ran out of room for bone meal, so I needed to slow that down, so I turned the sugarcane farm off for now. This farm, if you want to try and build it on Bedrock, it was designed by Impulse SV. You can check out his channel on YouTube. This guy is amazing. If you don't know who he is, he plays on the Hermitcraft server, and he's a technical Minecrafter. He's really cool. The design that you see in front of you has been customized. I've made it look, different than his, but the functionality of it, the mechanics of it, it's definitely the same as his tutorial shows. And if you check that out, that video, if you find it on his channel, that video is probably 12 years old, and it was designed on Java. I'm playing on Bedrock, but this farm definitely still works, and it works on Bedrock, so that's pretty cool. Well, we're going to go ahead and head out of this room. You can hear all the cactus being composted underneath the tree farm in here. We want to go this way. So that was the Cactus and Cane room. We're going to continue on around the corner here. This is the Kelp Silo room. So I have one of these zero-tick kelp machines. You can find them all over YouTube. There's all kinds of different designs. This one initially was designed by a channel called JC Plays. Let me show you the sign right here. JC Plays has several different designs. A lot of them have broken over the years. Every time Minecraft updates, these zero-tick machines tend to break because they're not really legal. They grow kelp, and as soon as it harvests, it grows the kelp again immediately. So it's like, one kelp after another. And I've got mine designed to where the kelp goes out into the water stream and straight up into the ceiling. We're going to turn that off. That's really loud. But anyway, you got to run this machine, and it just sits there and it continuously makes kelp. And the kelp will go up and over, and it goes into this silo back here. So the way the silo is there's two sides to the silo. We got a double chest on each side right here that you can access. As you can see, it's full of kelp, and every light represents a double chest. I almost said that backwards. So basically, every time a double chest starts getting items in it, it triggers a light, and light comes on, so I know there's items in that chest. And then I can quickly see how much kelp I have. In this case, it is completely full now. And once upon a time, as this thing was filling up, I was dropping shulker boxes right here, and they would fill up. And then I would collect them when they were full, and I would take them around the corner, and then take them to this room. And this is where the 8 furnace array by Ilmengo sits. And it was just a quick, small furnace design that I wanted to build when I first started playing 2 years ago on this realm. And initially we had smokers in here, so we'd have 4 on this side, 4 on the opposite side. When you put the items up top, I'll climb up here and show you. You've got the minecart hoppers sitting on top of these hoppers. So what it ends up doing is it takes everything from the chest really fast, and it equally divides the items between all 8 furnaces or smokers, depending on what you have set up on here. And so that it equally distributes, all the items across the furnaces, and then you put fuel in and it does the same thing. We've got some same setup right inside here. So you put your coal or whatever in here, and it will equally distribute the fuel to all the ovens as well. So it's very efficient, especially if you do the math and figure out how many items you're dumping into it versus how much your fuel can cook. You could put a precise amount of fuel in here that will cook everything without wasting any fuel. So I really liked that in the beginning. What I did is I went ahead and filled it full of kelp. So I was continuously running kelp from the silo into this thing, into the furnace. One of the things you cannot do with this one, and it's good to note, is that you cannot automatically like put a hopper on this chest and then funnel items directly into it. The way the chest and the minecart hoppers work, it will not distribute evenly across all the furnaces if you're feeding items into this chest via a hopper. So you can't really automate the items getting in here very well without redesigning the whole thing. So I didn't mind. It was something to do, again, I was talking with friends, I was watching TV, whatever the case may be, and I was just cooking kelp. So I was transporting, fill that chest up there, turn this thing on, go do something else while it cooks all your kelp up. And after the kelp cooks up, the dried kelp, you can turn it into kelp blocks. So I've got some kelp blocks over here to fuel this thing, and that box is actually running low. But I do have a silo like these silos in other storage rooms, and I have a silo that's almost full of those dried kelp blocks. So anyway, and I'm going to go ahead and move down this way because we got to get around this farm. This episode's running long already. So we've got another vine shaft on this wall. We've got a tunnel that goes to the Redwood Castle. If you recall, in the last episode, we have a tour of the castle, and I went down under the castle into the storeroom. Well, this tunnel down here, if you go all the way to the end and take a left and then a right, you'll end up down in the storeroom. So that's just another way to get to the storeroom. We have the slime farm that I started building. And I haven't finished it yet, but that's something that I will look forward to doing on a future Let's Play episode. We'll come on around the corner. This hall back here is kind of things that are under construction. It's an expansion of the base that direction. But I do have a lava farm down here that I want to show you. Lava farm's pretty neat. Now the farm itself here on the inside of the room was designed by Guinea Pig. And you should check out their channel. They have a lot of interesting designs that work on Bedrock as far as redstone machines go. And this one, if I turn it on, you might be able to see this. You see the cauldrons are moving. So the cauldrons go around in a big circle. And you basically stand here with your bucket and just keep clicking on it, and you'll harvest the lava, and it drops down into the hopper and goes in the box. And there's quite a bit more to it. You've got to turn on the bucket circulator, and it drops buckets on you, so you'll have buckets continuously, and your inventory has to be full, except for your buckets, so that way any lava buckets that you scoop up won't go into your inventory. They'll fall down and go into the system instead. But you can kind of see this just goes around in a big circle. We've got the drip stones that are feeding the lava source above down into these cauldrons. And the top of this room is unfinished, and I do want to get up here and finish that in some future Let's Play episode as well. Kind of make this room look really cool. Hopefully. Anyway, so we're going to head on around the corner here. We're coming up on 30 minutes for this episode. I didn't realize it took so long talking about the tree farm. That's another vine shaft. We have a moss farm back here. This moss farm was also created by Guinea Pig. There are a lot of different moss farms online that you can look up, and I've only tried this one, so I can definitely speak for this one. I'll climb up here so you can see this thing. Whoops, I fell down. Okay, never mind. So up there is the part that bone mills the moss block, and when you bone mill a moss block, if there's any stone nearby, it has a special ability to turn the stone into moss, as you see underneath me here. We still have some stone here. So the stone comes from this stone generator that's right here. You've got some flooded pistons, and they push forward, and it lets the water flow out, and the lava hits it, turns it to stone, and then at the same time the piston has pushed the stone block forward. So, if you've ever seen a stone generator, so it generates the stone, pushes the stone out this way, and the stone causes all that to pop up. I'll just turn this on real quick so you can see it how it works. It's pushing the stone forward, which is breaking those blocks of moss, and they're popping up. At the same time, when the water's retracted, it bone mills it, so you get all the flowers and the grass and the bushes, and all that flows over and goes down the hole and across through the water stream down below. It heads off to the same room everything else goes to. It'll either be composted or it'll go to storage. And, honestly, I can't remember what I have it set to right now. But I'm going to guess it's probably going to compost. So let me just hop back down. We'll leave this room. That's the moss farm. We'll head on around the corner here. We've only got a couple more farms left. If you're still with me after 30 minutes, I really appreciate it. And I'll let you know this episode is almost over. We have a nether grass farm right here. So this one is a design by JC Plays. I didn't want anything overly complicated or big because I know these farms are quite efficient. This one basically it shifts the floor back and forth, which is kind of odd because on the Java systems, it'll push these floors all together and they won't combine like this. Like you can see this blue one's stuck over here in the red one and so on and so forth. But anyway, that's just kind of trivial. If you turn it on, it slides the floor back and forth and it bone mills it from underneath. And so as it bone mills it, it creates the grass. It's like the flower farms, if you've ever seen one of those. But this one creates the nether grass because you're bone milling the... And I'm trying to remember the name. Oh yeah, warped. You've got these this warped and crimson and warped nylium, I think is what it's called. Oh man, I fell down in here. All right, let me flush this thing. Normally you don't flush it from the inside. And leave it to me to fall in. I got a button on the outside as well. Like turn that off. Yep, I added the button to the inside. That was my modification to the farm. Sometimes you get some stuck in the sides back there in the corners, and you can just flush it again. But I'm not worried about it. It makes a lot. Like you saw how much that made in just a short amount of time. Like we've still got some on us right now. But anyway, for a very small, cheap, easy to build farm, this thing works really, really well, and it makes all these. I call it nether grass, but it's the crimson roots, the warped roots, and the mushrooms. It actually makes the mushrooms as well. And that's the biggest reason that I built this farm is because I wanted those nether mushrooms so I could grow those big nether trees. So with that being said, we will head on around the corner here, past the other vine shaft on this wall. Then we get to the last farm on this level, and this is the mushroom, as I call it. And this is a room that was initially designed by JC Plays. It was designed, it has entirely different mechanism than the one he had right here. I've kind of modified this heavily because his farm was initially created just to make the giant mushrooms like the brown ones and the red and white ones. But I've created a system here that I can grow, and this one grew really close to the ceiling, so there's not much of a canopy on this one. A lot of times they grow a little bit lower, and you end up with a lot of these warped blocks. But I did modify this farm, but if you'd like to play with that, visit JC's channel and check out his mushroom farm. But I made this one to where you can stand on this plate, it triggers this clock, you can hear the dispenser going, it triggers this bone meal dispenser right here, and all you do is, I fell off, but all you do is you stand up here and you plant the mushroom, and then you run backwards on that platform, stand on the pressure plate, and it starts bone milling that mushroom, and then it grows a mushroom. And then you run out there with your hoe or your axe or whatever, and you harvest all of it, and it all drops down here in the water, and it flows into the hoppers, and then it would just go into storage. But with my farms, I go from storage, there's a dropper clock underneath there that takes it on down to the compost rooms where it can either be composted or it can go to storage. Some of these items cannot be composted, so they're collected on the way and they go to storage anyway. But anyway, all that will be in an upcoming tour video where I show you how my automation works and how items go from farm to farm and whatnot. And we'll take a closer look at the storage rooms. That's one of my storage rooms. I do have 3 main storage rooms right now, and I'm probably going to build a new one at some point for some other specific materials. This is my workshop, if I haven't shown you this. This is where I come in here to work, you know, just I need some crafting areas. You can see I've got a little nether workbench. I've got a place to work on armor. I've got a place to make banners. I've got some lazy storage right here that I ended up throwing stuff into, and then I've got to go sort and put away later. I've got barrels with materials that I regularly take out to build with. I've got another barrel that usually has a lot of empty shulker boxes in it for quick use. I've got a map wall right over here of the entire kingdom. So you can kind of see we got Darkwing Village in the bottom right corner. We've got the castle just above that. Over in the middle island, you can see Redwood Village. And down in the bottom left corner, you've got the Desert Village. And then we've got all that empty space with all those roads up there. So we can, you know, go ahead and expand this place. I'm going to run over here to this chest real quick before we go. I'm going to chuck some of this stuff in here because all this stuff's going to go to storage and get put away from me automatically. And I'm not going to have to worry about putting it away myself. Move this over here. I think that's about it. These things I need to keep on me. I was actually putting some signs around earlier. I got to go put that in a special place. So we are done with that, but you can see everything is being pulled out of that box quite quickly. And it's all going to head to storage. There's another storage hall down that way. Little sneak peek. But anyway, I appreciate you hanging out with me. Thank you for watching my episodes. If you got anything useful out of this video, or if you just liked it, please consider giving me a thumbs up. And if you want to see future episodes and my Let's Plays that are coming soon, go ahead and click that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you know exactly when they come out. I have a link to my website also in the channel, and there's also links off to my Twitch, my second YouTube channel where my Twitch streams are. So if you want to check all that out, go ahead and explore. But anyway, it's been fun. This is Darkwing Dave, and I'm out.